Imagine standing in front of millions of viewers, heart racing, palms sweating, and suddenly having a live panic attack on national television. That is what happened to journalist Dan Harris, and it set him on a journey that transformed his life in 10% Happier. He explores how mindfulness and meditation can calm the chaos of the mind without stripping away ambition or edge. This book matters because it bridges skepticism with science, showing practical tools for living with more clarity, peace, and resilience. The crisis that sparked change. A successful career, constant pressure, and a lifestyle fueled by stress, caffeine, and ambition led to a breaking point. The panic attack was not only frightening, but also humbling. It exposed how fragile success feels when inner stability is missing. This turning point raised the question, is there a way to succeed without self-destruction? The voice in the head. Everyone knows the nagging narrator, the inner critic that replays mistakes, worries about the future, and pushes us to do more. Harris reveals that this mental chatter is relentless and often destructive. Left unchecked, it creates anxiety, stress, and unhappiness. Recognizing this voice is the first step toward gaining freedom from it. Example, sitting in traffic, thoughts spiral. I am late, my boss will notice. My career is slipping. The voice escalates stress, yet none of it has happened. Discovering meditation. Initially, meditation sounded like mysticism, something reserved for monks. Yet science showed it had measurable benefits, lowering stress, improving focus, and even reshaping the brain. Meditation became less about escaping reality and more about training attention. A few minutes a day created noticeable calm and resilience. Example, during an argument, pausing to take a breath shifts the reaction from snapping back to responding calmly. Taming the ego. Ambition often whispers, "You are never enough." This drive can push growth, but it also breeds jealousy, fear, and endless comparison. Through mindfulness, Harris learned to notice ego-driven impulses without letting them control his behavior. Ego does not vanish, but awareness weakens its grip. Example, watching a colleague succeed instead of spiraling into resentment. One can acknowledge envy and return focus to personal goals. Mindfulness in daily life. Meditation is the training ground, but mindfulness shows its true power in ordinary moments. Eating with full attention, listening deeply in conversations, or walking without distraction builds presence. Life becomes less about rushing to the next thing and more about inhabiting the current moment. Example, instead of scrolling on the phone while eating lunch, savoring each bite reduces stress and sharpens gratitude. The myth of perfect peace. Mindfulness does not erase problems or guarantee endless calm. It makes people, as Harris says, 10% happier. That small but steady shift compounds into a healthier, more balanced life. Stress still arises, but recovery is quicker. Conflict still exists, but reactions become wiser. Example, after a tense work meeting, rather than staying upset all day, mindfulness allows emotions to settle within minutes. Skepticism and science. One of the book's strengths is its balance between skepticism and evidence. Harris questioned everything, which makes the lessons relatable. Research on meditation shows reduced cortisol, improved immune function, and stronger emotional regulation. This turns meditation from woo-woo into a tool grounded in data, a practical path forward. Meditation requires no special equipment, belief system, or lifestyle overhaul. Starting with just 5 minutes a day can shift how the mind responds to stress. Over time, consistency matters more than length. The practice becomes less about perfection and more about showing up. Conclusion. The journey to becoming 10% happier is not about abandoning ambition or detaching from the world. It is about learning to master the mind instead of being mastered by it. By quieting the inner voice, taming the ego, and cultivating presence, success becomes sustainable and happiness becomes more than an afterthought. Takeaway challenge. Tomorrow, Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Focus on your breath. Each time the mind wanders, gently bring it back. Do this daily for 1 week and see if you feel even 10% calmer, clearer, and more in control. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep leading your life with purpose. Subscribe for more book summaries on finance, business, and personal growth. See you in the next video.